Okay, so I'm going to explain Izuka's canon, supposedly, based on his statements that contradict his statements. First in the timeline, we have Sonic 1. Then we have Sonic CD. Then we have Sonic 2. Then 3 and Knuckles. Izuka has stated that Sonic 3 and Knuckles are one game.
Yeah, that's the point. That always confused me.
I will agree that this is one game. It's like the Kill Bill movies where it's two movies, but it's designed to be one movie. Then we
Okay.
have Sonic Adventure. Then
Right.
Sonic Adventure 2.
Wait, what about Sonic 4?
We're getting to that. We have Sonic Advance 1, then 2, then Heroes.
Right.
We have Sonic Advance 3, then Sonic Battle. Then we go
Okay.
to Shadow the Hedgehog. And fun fact, we know from the manual that Heroes, Sonic Advance 3, Battle, and Shadow happen in the span of 3 months.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And the first time we get a canon age for Sonic is in Sonic Adventure 1. So all of this happens in 1 year. This is the first time that the timeline splits. Technically,
Oh boy, timeline splitting.
we have
When did it become Yu-Gi-Oh?
Last Story, which is,
The heck is that story?
you ever played Shadow the Hedgehog? When you
Yes.
when you get,
Oh, that one.
yeah,
The
all time.
canon. The
Yep.
can. The can. Okay.
No, this isn't the canon story because this is technically ending 1.
Boy, I'm lost.
Afterwards, there's 326, which is the Izuka's canon. The Izuka
What's
canon.
326?
So Shadow the Hedgehog had 326 stories. 326 is called A Missive from 50 Years Ago, but damn that, I'm not typing that.
Yikes! That's a name.
And the true canon, according to someone who isn't Izuka, I forget which Sonic writer said it, but according to this Sonic writer, 153 together with Maria is the true canon. These two need to be canon at the same time, and I'll tell you why. So 326 is the canon event of the game, but 153 shows you all the background, all the backstory to the characters. And
Okay.
in addition, 326, we go to the 06, and then when we reboot 06, Solaris never existed, we go from 326 to 153. Because 06 doesn't just retcon itself, it retcons everything from 10 years prior to the Sonic series. So everything before Sonic 1 gets retconned. But the events of Sonic 1 through Shadow still happened. The only difference is which pathway we take. 326 is the pathway before 06, and after 06, the timeline splits and we go to 153 for the true canon. The next last story, too, which is the same last story, happens as well.
Okay.
After the last story, we jump into Secret Rings Unleashed. At some point, Rush happens here. And at some point,
Okay.
Riders happens here. So regarding Blaze's situation, I explained that how that works. Does that make sense? And the reason why Blaze no longer remembers Sonic is because according to Izuka, Blaze somehow developed amnesia between the two games.
Of course.
Yep, that is the actual stated reason by Izuka-san. We then go to 2 timelines. We have Chronicles, which is technically ending 2, ending canon. The reason
How does Chronicles then?
Chronicles ends with Eggman taking over the world. We can never go back to Chronicles. We will never get a Chronicles 2 because of Ken Penders.
Fuck you, Ken. Question. We can't do stuff with him because of copyright such, right? Good
Yep.
luck copywriting the right
Yep.
stuff. If he died, all that go away.
We would have to wait 70 years, but yes.
I thought it was 50.
Oh, it's 50 now? Okay, then 50 years. Of Black Knight. And then after Black Knight, we go to colors. Sadly,
Okay.
the Wii version is canon and not the DS version. After colors, we have generations. Here,
Let me guess. Console version canon,
yeah,
but not the DS version.
correct. But let me explain. Generations is the game that has great gameplay, but single-handedly fucked up the lore of this series. Without question.
How?
Okay. So, Generation takes classic Sonic from after CD. So, Sonic 2 Game Gear, which takes place before Sonic 2. So, it takes specifically the Sonic around here. This is classic Sonic. This Sonic from right here after Game Gear before Sonic 2, because he knows the spin dash, so it can't be Sonic 1. So Son 1, Son CD, S2 Game Gear, and S2 goes into Generations. Classic Yatsu. And fun fact, in Japan, he's not called Modern Sonic, he's called Generic Sonic. So Generic Sonic comes here.
Generic Sonic, wow.
Look, Japan is better than us, okay? They have better names for shit. So after this, we have Generations. But here's where the timeline gets fucked. So Generations separates into 3 separate instances. We know that from here we have Lost World. Classic Sonic gets sent to Sonic Mania. And Classic Tails gets sent back to Sonic Mania. It's actually 2 timelines, my bad. And originally, the whole point is that they were sent back to Sonic 1, but it's been retconned. Now they were sent to Mania, which is why in Mania you start in Green Hill Zone. So the thing is that this Sonic Mania game takes place after 3 and K, and this is where we go here. So it goes Sonic 3 and K, then Sonic Mania, then Superstars,
Right.
then 4, then 4 Episode 2, and then Adventure 1. But I should note that this Adventure 1 and this Adventure 1 are not equal. However, we know that they go to Adventure 1 because Izuka said that Superstars happens before Adventure 1. But it cannot be this Adventure 1, as Sonic Forces directly has Tails states that the Sonic from Mania is from another dimension. And technically, Classic Sonic will jump back into Mania here and then go to Superstars. Meanwhile, Generic Sonic will go from Forces, and then we have IDW. Yes, IDW is canon.
Yay.
All of IDW happens after Forces, before Frontiers.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the one that everyone knows, Metal Virus.
Right.
And then afterwards, we go to Frontiers. And Sonic Superstars actually has the end there, but it's not the same end as the end in Frontiers. So End dies here, but the End lives here. And we know that there are...
IDW...
Hold on.
Wait, did you say IDW has the end.
No, Superstars has the end.
Oh,
Yeah. But the end from Sonic Frontiers is gone. The end from Sonic Superstars still lives. So when Izuka and Ian Flynn said that the end being in Sonic Superstars does not mean that the end survived, as Superstars takes place before the alternative dimension Adventure 1. So from Sonic Frontiers, we'll go down, and this will lead into Sonic Dream Team.
right.
And then after Dream Team, supposedly, even though it makes no fucking sense, and I disagree with this statement, but after Dream Team, supposedly Prime happens. And that's where we currently are with the Sonic
Wait,
canon.
wait. Prime is canon, the show?
According to the writers of Prime, Prime is canon. However, I would like to point out that I swear they're only saying it's canon for audience's sake. I'm willing to bet that the people who write Prime don't know shit about the Sonic lore.
I would believe that.
So this is the Sonic the Hedgehog lore explained to you in order of the games. What do you think?
It's a mess.
Do you see why they hired people to make the second Sonic Bible? Yes, the original when Sonic Adventure 1 came out, they had this thing called the
There's
Sonic
a
Bible.
Sonic Bible.
Yeah, Sonic Bible was the thing that they used to
Oh my
explain the
god.
canon. And now that we have Sonic Frontiers after this, Sonic Bible 2 exists. So what do you think?
Oh my god. Nope. I said before, this whole time with it's so confusing. Why the timeline all gonna be so complicated? Why can't games really make timelines? Simple linear timeline.
Because of Pontaf and Ken
About what?
Penders. Because of the people who wrote Sonic Colors and Ken Penders. These two fucks, well, three technically, are the reason that the timeline in Sonic is such a mess. Besides it being complicated, what do you think of the canon?
But it is else to say than just that. Like this whole thing, it was starting off very simple. Up until Shadow the Hedgehog, where things got all the thick twisted, and then and then 326 and 06 reversed it. 1.3 lost story and all pretty all of them. I don't get that. Then we got a whole bunch of other things. Then we got split into other dimensions. It's like and apparently Chronicle ends the story.
Technically, Chronicles was the first ending to the canon because Eggman wins at the end of Chronicles.
It just I don't know how to even describe this.
Describe it? Is that the part that gets you?
But kind of. I don't know how to. This all makes so what? It's just so arbitrary. I don't even know. I don't think I used that word correctly.
Arbitrary. That's not what arbitrary means.
Yep, I knew it. I knew I used it wrong.
Well, then what are you trying to say?
I don't know. I don't know what to say. Everybody, I don't know. Something makes me feel.
The reason I
And
think this one's the worst case is because this is technically I'm willing to bet will never get iterated on by the company of Sega because they don't want people criticizing this. I would point out that technically these two games, so Sonic 2 Game Gear, Sonic 2 Game Gear, Sonic CD, and Sonic 1, are the same canon. But once we go back to Sonic 2 and onward, we know that they're different canons because in the original timeline, 3 and Knuckles happened one after the other. Whereas 3 and
I
Knuckles in the Sonic 4 timeline, according to the Sonic 4 manual, supposedly happened at the same time. One at 2.
uh, I'm completely lost. I
Also,
will say this.
I want to point out though
I will say,
that
I
there
will say this.
yeah,
Can I will say this. At least this isn't the Five Nights at Freddy's timeline.
Yeah, that's true. Well, that's because Final Fantasy Freddy's was deliberately designed to be a mystery. Sonic is not really a mystery, except for the murder, Sonic the Hedgehog. It takes place right here.
Does Sonic actually die?
No, no.
I thought so.
Also, I want to point out that this version of the timeline actually makes a quick correction. In Sonic Generations, for some fucking reason, they state that Cream the Rabbit's first appearance is in Sonic CD,
Bullshit!
which means that this version of the events could explain why Generations had Cream in CD, whereas in here it was Rosie the Rascal. And thanks to the Everything is Canon tweet, we now have an explanation as to how Amy and Sonic were 8 and 15, and then by the time of Adventure 1, Amy was 12 and Sonic was still 15. In the comics, Amy technically wished to be older so that she could be with Sonic. Technically, the Amy in this game, in Sonic Superstars, is 8. Whereas Adventure 2 Amy onward is 12. Meaning that in the classic Sonic timeline, which ends in Adventure for some reason, Amy is canonically 8.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm so lost.
What? You know what I love about that though? It's confirmed from the canonics, from the canon, the comic specifically. Do you want to know what happened to Tails though?
What? Tails doll? No, no, no. Tails doll is the creepypasta, not canon.
Nope, Tails doll is canon. Tails doll appears in Superstars and Sonic R.
Oh my god.
Tails doll is a playable character in Sonic R. What do you mean it's not canon?
Isn't he like some sort of horror creepypasta?
Well, they made one out of him, but no. Tails doll Sonic R. Images. Yeah, it's actually from the game.
Okay. Okay, okay. What did the canon say about him?
So, fun fact, we know for a fact, I'm gonna erase this by the way, okay?
Okay.
How do I mass erase everything? Refresh. Okay. We know for a fact that at some point, Eggman creates Metal Sonic, Metal Knuckles, and Tails doll. And I love that in the comics, Tails asks twice, like, how come Sonic and Knuckles get cool mechs and I get this thing?
Heh.
So we know that technically, Tails doll becomes an Eldritch horror. That's not a joke, by the way.
What the hell?
Only for the timeline to be reset and remove that. So no Eldritch horror tales. But then Eggman redesigned a Tails doll, and it's a spy machine
Okay. At least that part makes
that we
sense.
now know is decommissioned, and Cream the Rabbit
Cream has this thing?
Cream has it as a stuffed animal.
Ugh.
Uh Cream the
Ugh.
Rabbit with Tails doll comic images. What the fuck? I just saw it. Here. Yeah, Cream the Rabbit technically kept this thing.
Uh, I would just burn it.
Although there is one fan comic that explains that Cream the Rabbit uses it as a stuffed animal to sleep with, but that's just fanfic. We just know that she has the thing.
Alright.
And that is the Sonic lore pretty much explained in the most rudimentary but unofficial way possible. Your thoughts?
Who the fuck green lights this shit? Like, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to understand how was this? No, I can't even blame Sonic Team because Ken Pender fucked it up. Sure, you can. You just gotta ruin things all because of your freaking ego.
Well, I know exactly who to blame for each situation.
Obviously, Ken for everything.
Not everything. It's these four bastards. Well, five technically, but I'm treating Pontaf as one person. By the way, Pontaf is two people. The only reason I call him Pontaf is because they're the Happy Tree Friends writers.
Really.
Yep. So Sonic Colors, Generations, Lost World, and Forces were all written by the Happy Tree Friends team.
Oh. Huh.
Which, by the way, is one of the most violent cartoons ever made.
Yeah, I know. I know what it is.
So Ken Penders for copyright. I think I misspelled copyright. I don't care.
You definitely did. It's right. Then R I
Yeah.
G H
Okay. Okay.
T.
Okay. There's no. You get the point. Okay.
Yeah.
There. Yuji Naka for leaving during '06.
I forgot. But Naka, was he the one who actually created something or someone else?
No, Oshima created Sonic. But you know what Oshima did? He created
What?
Balan Wonderworld.
Uh,
Okay.
that's yikes.
Nakamura, this punk ass. Just kidding. I have to respect Nakamura because he was the head programmer during my favorite game of all time, so I can't insult him. But I also have to criticize him for his Dashuraka Maniac level design, and that's actually what he said.
So what?
For
He designed thing on the same level
this is
of
this is the
Fly
guy who
Fellows?
no, this guy said classic from other dimension, which is so stupid, but he did it. Pontaf for colors through forces, for creating the most boring stories, and Sega for the post '06 mandates. So it's not that it was green light,
Right.
it's that
One.
these six entities screwed it up.
I see.
And I know that technically speaking, it was what's that guy's name? Kishimoto, who directed Forces, but it
Uh
was
huh.
Nakamura who said Dashuraka Maniaku. So I'm blaming him. And also Kishimoto made Frontier, so we can't criticize him too much.
Right.
Notice how at no point do I blame Izuka. Izuka, he only did one thing wrong. His only thing wrong was that Colors had 6 acts. Let me explain. Sonic 1 had 3 acts. Sonic 2, the fuck? Oh, Brielle was awake? Cool. Sonic 2 had 2 acts and a boss. Sonic CD had 3 acts. Sonic 3 and Knuckles had, I believe, 2 acts and 2 bosses. And people think that 3 acts was too many. Not everyone does, but a lot of people think 3 acts was too many. Colors shows up, and Izuka-san goes, "What if we give them 6 acts?"
That's a lot.
Yeah, this is my only critique of Izuka. But other than that, Izuka did nothing wrong. So now that you know the background knowledge, what do you think?
I simply said Pender. Wait, nope, 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 nope. Because of recording. Uh, Pender the sack of shit. That button? Can I say that?
You could say that. Technically, you could say the other thing, but I wouldn't advise it. Okay, so
Oh, you better edit that
I
out.
am gonna edit that out. So Penders is bad, but what about Yuji Naka, Nakamura, Pontap, and Sega? What do you think about them?
I mean, okay, but Sega, I blame for the post-6 mandate. The whole, I'm still mad about the whole Team Dark not being a thing. It's stupid. Uh, Nakamura, the other guys. Well, Ponta, what did Ponta do again?
They wrote colors through forces.
Okay, see that. I mean, those games could be better, but I can't blame them for stories.
Let me explain why it's bad. When they were hired to write colors, Pontaf admitted they had never played Sonic before.
Oh, yep, nope, never mind. These guys suck.
Okay, Nakamura, Mr. Dacha like a maniac, and Classic is from another dimension.
Why? Just why? That makes no sense.
And lastly, Yuji Naka for leaving during 06. Because if not for this,
We needed you.
the 06 mandates would have never happened.
We needed you, Nakamura.
Yuji Naka. Nakamura was the head programmer of
Sorry,
06.
sorry. We needed you, Yuji Naka. We needed you.
You know what? Before we end this, there's just one thing I want to play.
Naka Yuji-san
Okay.
Producer of the Sonic team, Mr. Naka!
Slideshow. Okay, we have a curtain listing, rock music playing. We got Sonic, Spin Dash, a blue circle, Sonic. Okay, that was badass.
Producer of the Sonic team, Mr. Naka! Ladies and gentlemen!
That's why we needed him. Not only was he one of the greatest programmers ever, he was also badass.
Yes, he was. That was awesome.
Yep. And then somehow Yuji Naka, the guy who programmed Sonic 1 like a freaking G, and Naoto Oshima, the guy who designed Sonic, the guy who literally drew Sonic for the first time. I think it was the first time.
Right.
These two fucks go and create Balan Wonderworld.
Oh god, I can't. That game had so much potential.
I have that game, by the way. So bad.
It is.
I was on the hype train for that because it's like, oh man, Yuji Naka and Naoto Oshima, shit, this is gonna be the best game ever. And I play it.
Yeah. The game had a lot of potential. It looked so good. No, it was not.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna call the video here. Is there anything you want to say to the audience before I leave?
The Sonic timeline is a huge mess, all because of a lot of stuff that happened in the background, and we just have to deal with it.
I loved your little statement of who greenlit this shit? Nobody. It was the result of other shit being not greenlit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.